This is Stories from the Top, B2B Sales Buzz with Boxavanas, and I am your hostess, Jennifer Boxavanas. Selling and buying has taken a completely different picture in our lives because of these very challenging times. So these interviews will now have an extra question on them, and it is strengthening your sales during COVID-19 period. So please make sure you stay until the very end, where our interviewees will not only be sharing the sales tips that have been working for them for the last years of their lives, but also how you can take this sales tip and apply it to selling today during these difficult times. Today's sales tip comes from Nadia Butt. I've known Nadia for about 10 years. When I first met her, I asked her employer, out of the entire team, I want to talk to the best. And they said, oh, that's easy. That's Nadia. She had groundbreaking records in achieving her targets and overachieving them over and over again. And when I met her, she's beautiful, she's sweet, and she's smiley. But once she gets in front of that buyer, she knows how to sell. So over the years, she left the UAE and has gone to the UK, and now she is head of sales for Spotahome. During these uncertain times, she has going to share with us a sales technique that has not only worked for her over the years, but is now even working for her during these COVID-19 period of time. So please stay tuned to meet Nadia Butt. Hi, Nadia. It is great to see you. I know that we have spent so many years together in the UAE and watching your career develop there, and now virtually talking to you in the UK. So please share with our audience about yourself and a little bit about Spotahome.
Hi, Jennifer. It's lovely to see you again after so long. I'm a sales professional who's had quite a lot of exciting roles throughout my life and my career. I've been in prop tech and property for over 10 years now. Working in a number of different countries. I've worked for some of the biggest and the best in each region that I've lived in. To mention a few companies, Property Finder, which is the biggest property portal in the Middle East. I work for Zoopla Property Group, which is one of the big portals in the UK markets. And now I'm working for Spotahome, which is a Spanish property portal up and coming across various European countries. So Spotahome, I'm covering the UK and the Irish markets, and I'm head of sales as well as partnerships for those two regions. What we do is we focus on midterm rental accommodation. So if you think about Airbnb, how they operate, we work similarly to them. But we focus on midterm rentals. So that would be any booking that's minimum 30 days.
Excellent. This sounds like along the lines of where the world is going right now in digitally making choices and sales. So I remember when I first met you, I had asked the company you were working for, I was like, I need to talk to your best. And they were like, you're going to meet Nadia. She's a bulldog. And then I met you and you were just this beautiful smiling person. And I was like, where's the bulldog? And I just love the way that you combine, your work ethic as well as your bubbly and warm personality in sales. What would be your sales tip to help them just in general succeed more in sales and increase their sales performance?
I think there's quite a few different things that I could mention that I've used to create success in my life and my career. But if there's one tip that I would probably put above most of the others is persistence. And what that means is never take no for an answer. I would say sales is all about timing. So whatever you're selling, whatever you're pitching, it's all about timing. So if someone says to you that they are not interested right now, or they could say that they're not interested at all, I would take that as a right, let's revisit that later. So it's about, I think it's about your mindset and just never giving up. Often when someone says no to your proposal, whatever it might be, it's usually because either it's not the right timing, perhaps they haven't really they haven't understood your business proposition or the product that you're trying to pitch them, or they genuinely might just not need it right now. So again, it comes back to then being persistent and not taking no for an answer, but taking a step back and thinking, right, okay, let's put this one to the side. Obviously, they need a little bit more work, whether it is that they need to understand your product or they might need more time. But what I usually do is when someone says no to me, and I've tried to understand, their objections, I've tried to counter those, but in the end, we decide that, okay, they don't need this right now, or they don't want it. What I usually say if I'm pitching or selling myself is, right, would you mind if we kept in communication and we touch base once in a while just to see how is your business going, what's going on in the market. I'd love to share any tips that I can in terms of, new products or things that's happening on our side, but equally understanding what's happening on your side. And most likely, the prospect is never going to say no to you because you're not selling them anything.
Right.
So usually that works really well, just to sort of remain in contact and then revisit them at a later stage.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting what you're saying, because when I'm helping sales teams overcome objections, just to say to them, a no is kind of like a yes with a cross in it. So you got to figure out if it's a qualified buyer, if the qualification process is obviously well done, is saying, okay, now why does this person not want what I'm offering? And it's exactly what you said. Maybe it's a timing issue. Maybe it's I didn't explain myself well. Maybe there's other factors that I have not unveiled yet in our conversation that are drivers or hesitations. I'm going to get down to the bottom of that. So this mindset of persistence, but one of inquisitive persistence, is actually spot on. Could you share with our audience a story that has to do with persistence or lack of persistence, so they can kind of see that persistence in action?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's probably lots of examples, but there's one that comes to mind, so this was a sale that was quite a simple product, very low cost, not really a lot of, the sales cycle would normally take 1 to 2 months maximum. But this took 16 months to close. And from the moment, this was quite early on in my career, probably maybe around the time that I met you. And I was doing business development at the time, and I pitched this prospective client who said to me, no, thank you, not interested, but great to have met you. And although I had literally exhausted every opportunity to close him, every objection that he gave, I handled it, I thought, but he always had something that he would come back with. No, I don't need more business, because if I have more business, I need to hire more staff. I'm not ready to do that just yet. No, I'm happy with your competitors. I don't see the need to spend more money just yet. No, thank you very much, but not right now. So what I decided then in my head was, fine, I will accept this. It's a no right now, but he will close eventually. So I knew that, okay, in order to get to that close, I would have to put in a little bit of time and effort in building a rapport with him and building trust with him. So what I decided to do was, I then asked him, before I ended the conversation, I asked him, would you mind if we kept in contact? for, you know, every few months, let's catch up. I'll give you a call. Just want to see how things are going. And naturally he said yes, because he knew I wasn't selling. So what I would do then, maybe once a month, probably once every 2 months, I would call him and say, hi, how are you? How's your business doing? Do you remember me? And he would always be so happy every time he received those calls. And I would never try to sell him anything. It was just 2 minutes of his time saying, hi, I thought of you today. When I would be out, if I saw his company brand anywhere, I would take a photo of that, send it to him and say, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. If I read about his company in the newspaper, I do the same thing, take a photo, send it to him and say, oh, this is great. I'm so pleased that your business is doing well. Just wanted to say hi. And, and although it sounds, you know, well, why are you bothering? I did bother because I knew that it's just a matter of time. And after 16 months of doing this, spending maximum 5 minutes of my time once a month on him, after 16 months, he actually called me and said, I just wanted to say that what you're doing is absolutely wonderful. I really appreciate that you're calling me and keeping in contact. A lot of salespeople say that, but they don't do it. But you've done it, and you genuinely asked about my business. And although I still don't necessarily have a major desire to spend more money, I'm going to do that with you. So I'm going to sign up with you. Please send across the contract. That came from persistence and just not taking no for an answer, I think.
Amazing story. And I mean, it really is persistence until the end. And for you to just come up with these, you know, very small actions that make such a big difference, just adding, you know, a couple of drops in the bucket.
That's
so
it.
Nadia, my last question is, you know, right now salespeople are struggling. They feel a little bit unmotivated. They're in a whole new working environment with buyers that are also very uncertain. Can you share with us how you would apply persistence in today's circumstance, which is just difficult conditions?
Absolutely. I would say it's really important to stay positive in your mind and remember that this is temporary. We know that most countries or regions, wherever in the world you are, whatever sector that you're working in, most of us are suffering in some way financially. However, what we really have to do right now is to remember that eventually there is going to be a solution to whatever this issue is. We know that there's going to be a vaccine one day. We know that. We know that this is going to be temporary because most crises are. This is not going to go on forever. So what we have to do then is to remember we've sold whatever product you're selling before, and you're going to be selling it again. So what you have to do right now is to focus on maintaining your customer base right now. You have to prepare for post-COVID. And what I'm doing right now with my client base or my team's client base is making sure that they are reassured. I'm physically contacting every single client within my regions, which is UK and Ireland, making sure that they understand that we are here for them. And although demand is low right now, we are working very hard on creating engagement with the little demand that we have. We're working very hard on improving the products that we offer and the websites or the platform that we offer to make it more efficient, to make it better. but it really comes down to just showing empathy and making sure that you sort of strengthen that rapport. Everyone is suffering in some way. So even if business is slow right now, maintain your existing relationships, like strengthen those now that you can, because you have more time, if that makes sense.
Excellent, Nadia. Thank you so much for your input. This is one of the first interviews from Stories of the Top in these kind of difficult times. So I'm really excited that you are the one that's sharing the tips with our audience. So thank you so much and have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and I hope it's helpful.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation between Nadia and I. And if there was something that we talked about that resonated with you, or you have some comments or some questions, please leave them below in the comment box. Otherwise, if you find that this interview has been interesting and knowledgeable for you, please give me a like or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay strong and happy selling.